A bold move, a new frontier. President Trump has set his sights on Greenland, an uncharted territory of international tension. With a vision that defies the norms of diplomacy, he claims the U.S. must secure the island for national security, fearing Russia and China's growing influence. But Russia, ever watchful, calls this ambition extraordinary, as Kremlin officials stand ready to monitor the U.S.'s every move. International law, Trump has shrugged it off, declaring it irrelevant. This is not just about Greenland, it's a battle for global power. The question is, how far will he push? And more importantly, will the world allow him to act? Stay tuned as we explore the forces shaping this high-stakes confrontation. Greenland, a land rich in resources and strategic location, has long been under Danish control, but it's caught in the crossfire of superpower rivalry. For decades, the island has remained largely isolated from global conflict, a quiet protector of its sovereignty. However, Trump's sudden ambition to claim it has sparked an international crisis. What was once a distant political issue has now escalated into a high-stakes game of global power. Trump's narrative is clear. Only the U.S. can prevent adversaries from controlling the Arctic's key geostrategic position. But what lies beneath this move? The backdrop of this crisis is not just about territorial control, it's about international laws being disregarded in favor of unchecked power. To understand this dramatic shift, we must first look back at the historical dynamics of Greenland. For centuries, the island has been a key asset in global geopolitics. Denmark's sovereignty over Greenland, however, is relatively modern, formalized in the 1950s as Cold War tensions rose. The U.S. has long maintained military bases in Greenland, especially during the Cold War, viewing it as a vital outpost in the battle against Soviet influence. Now, as a new global rivalry brews between the U.S., Russia, and China, Greenland's strategic value has never been clearer. But with Trump's claims, the island's future is suddenly uncertain, caught between two powerful forces vying for control. But what happens when the old rules no longer apply and history is rewritten on the fly? January 3, 2025, an unexpected military operation that deposed Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro suddenly sets the stage for Trump's bold declaration. The operation, which caught the world off guard, sent shockwaves through international relations. As the dust settled, Trump made it clear Greenland was next. His rationale? A U.S. control of the island would act as a bulwark against Russian and Chinese influence in the Arctic. But this wasn't just about strategic positioning, it was a declaration of intent, signaling to the world that the U.S. would no longer play by the old rules. The message was clear. The U.S. would act unilaterally, whether the world liked it or not. The world watches with bated breath. Will Trump's ambitious vision for Greenland spark more than just diplomatic tension? At the heart of this push lies a deeper, more troubling question: how is this possible? The mechanism behind Trump's desire to control Greenland isn't just military, it's rooted in a complex web of global politics and economics. By positioning Greenland as a strategic military outpost, Trump aims to reshape the balance of power in the Arctic and beyond. The island's vast natural resources, oil, gas, and rare minerals, are also prime factors in his calculation. This isn't just about territory, it's about dominance. The U.S. isn't just claiming land, it's claiming power over the future of global security. But what happens when such power plays disrupt the very systems of international cooperation? As tensions escalate, a second crisis brews. This time it's not just words but action. NATO forces, including troops from Denmark, Germany, and France, land in Greenland for a joint military exercise, Operation Arctic Endurance. What was once a neutral zone is now becoming a battleground for influence. The operation is seen as a response to Trump's push, a demonstration that the West won't back down easily. But it's not just the military presence, it's the symbolic message. Greenland, the island of peace, is now a pawn in a global power struggle. And the stakes, nothing short of the future of global geopolitics. The question now is, Who will control the Arctic? And what price will the world pay for this new Cold War? But the true cost of this geopolitical game isn't just measured in military maneuvers or economic strategies. It's felt by the people of Greenland, caught between superpowers with their own visions of the future. For Greenlanders, this is more than just a political standoff. It's a fight for identity, sovereignty, and self-determination. The island's residents, fiercely protective of their autonomy, are watching as their homeland is thrust into the global spotlight. As Trump's administration pushes forward, the emotional toll on the people of Greenland becomes undeniable. Can they retain their dignity, or will they be forced to choose sides in a battle they never asked for? This is where the real story begins. The fight for control may be global, but the stakes are deeply personal. The implications of this conflict extend far beyond Greenland's icy shores. As the US and its allies increase military presence in the Arctic, tensions rise across the globe. Russia, eyeing the shifting balance of power, prepares to respond. China, too, has been quietly expanding its influence in the region, seeking access to the Arctic's resources. With every move, the world feels the ripples, an uncertain future for global security and alliances. The Arctic, once a peaceful expanse of frozen land, is rapidly becoming a flashpoint for geopolitical conflict. But this isn't just a fight over land, it's about control of the future. As the stakes rise, it's clear the battle for Greenland could alter the very structure of international diplomacy. What happens next? The world stands at a crossroads, and there are three possible futures for Greenland and global politics. Best case scenario: a peaceful resolution is reached, with diplomatic negotiations between the US, Denmark, and Greenland. Greenland maintains its sovereignty, and the US gains access to military cooperation without undermining international law. Middle ground: Greenland is caught in the middle of the US and Russian geopolitical tug-of-war. The island remains autonomous but is forced to make concessions in its dealings with both superpowers, resulting in a fragile balance of power. Worst-case scenario: tensions escalate into a full-scale international conflict. Greenland becomes a militarized zone, with its people suffering the consequences. The world enters a new Cold War, with the Arctic as its front line. Which path will the world take? The answer will shape the future of international relations for decades to come. The choices made today will define the geopolitical landscape for generations. As we stand on the brink of a new geopolitical era, one thing is clear: the battle for Greenland is more than just about land. It's about the world's future, where power, sovereignty, and security collide. Trump's audacious push to take control of Greenland has shaken the foundations of international diplomacy, forcing nations to reconsider their alliances and strategies. But here's the insight: what happens in Greenland will echo across the globe. The decisions made in this cold, remote corner of the world will reverberate throughout international relations, shaping the next chapter of global conflict or cooperation. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned for the next chapter in this unfolding saga. The world is watching, and so should you.